In this video, I'm going to talk about the 6 class of food additive and also other type of food additives that are often used in food products. So the 6th category is the emulsifiers and also stabilizers. So they are usually added to stabilize the mixture by preventing the oil and water from separating. And emulsifiers and stabilizers are usually added to products like ice cream and also mayonnaise. With the exception of lecithin, all emulsifiers used in foods are synthetic. So only lecithin is the natural emulsifier. And they are characterized as either ionic or non-ionic and by their hydrophile and also lipophile balance HLB. And all these synthetic emulsifiers are usually derivative of fatty acids. This is the structure of lecithin. So lecithin is the commercial name of a mixture of phospholipid, this one, phospholipids obtained as a byproduct of the refining of soybean oil. So when you refine a soybean oil, so you will get the lecithin as the byproduct. And lecithin can be hydroxylated by treatment with hydrogen peroxide and lactic or acetic acid, and usually hydroxylated lecithin is more hydrophilic. This makes for a better oil-in-water emulsifier. So what happened during the hydroxylation? So this lecithin is reacted with hydrogen peroxide plus lactic acid. So what happened? This double bond will be converted into OH, meaning that it is now hydroxylated, and it is more hydrophilic because you know that OH can make hydrogen bond. So when it makes hydrogen bond, it is more hydrophilic compared to the double bond, which is more hydrophobic. Another type of food additive other than emulsifiers, so this is what we call as bread improvers. So usually bread improvers are known as bleaching or maturing agents, which are used to speed up the aging process of wheat flour. So bleaching agent that always been used is benzoyl peroxide. Other examples including oxides of nitrogen, chlorine dioxide, nitrosyl chloride, and chlorine, which are both bleaching and improving or maturing agents for breads, for flour. And improvers are used to ensure that the dough will ferment uniformly and vigorously, include oxidizing agents such as potassium bromate, potassium iodate, and also calcium peroxide. So these improvers will be combined with the oxidizing agent to ensure that the dough will ferment uniformly. And most of these bread improvers can only be used in small quantities because excessive amount reduce quality, meaning it will affect the texture of the bread and also the taste of the bread. Acid, bases, and buffers can also be added to control the pH value of foods. For example, ethanoic acid and citric acid are usually added to soft drink or alcoholic drinks. Another type of food additive that always used in food industry is sweeteners. So sweeteners can be divided into two groups, which is the non-nutritive and also nutritive sweeteners. The non-nutritive sweeteners including saccharin, cyclamate, aspartame, S-sulfam K, and also sucralose. While the nutritive sweeteners belongs to the group of sucrose, glucose, fructose, invert sugar, and a variety of polyol, including sorbitol, mannitol, maltitol, lactitol, xylitol, and also hydrogenated glucose syrup. These are the chemical structures of the most important non-nutritive sweeteners such as saccharin, cyclamate, cyclohexylamine, and also S-sulfam K. However, cyclohexylamine are not allowed to be used due to the carcinogen property of this additive. To elaborate, cyclamate is actually 30 to 40 times sweeter than sucrose and about 300 times sweeter than the saccharin. While S-sulfam K, it is a crystalline powder that is about 200 times sweeter than sugar. And S-sulfam K is reportedly to be more stable than other sweeteners. And by adding sweeteners, it will improve the taste of the food. It will longer the shelf life of the food, and also it will lower down the production cost of the food products. Another type of sweeteners is sucralose, which is very sweet. So it is about 300 times sweeter than sucrose and has a similar taste profile. And one of its main advantages is the heat stability, so that it can be used in baking. So if we look at the food additive, it is usually represented by E numbers. Yeah? E numbers represent the codes, indicates an ingredient, which is some type of food additive. So E here means a European Union approved food additive. And all food additive used in European Community countries have E numbers. For example, E160 is a food coloring, E200 and E270 is food preservative, while E331 is a stabilizer. If we look at the example here, E160, so the first digit here indicates the type of food additive. In this case, 1 means food coloring. So this E160 is actually a carotene, a reddish color found in carrots and pumpkins. Reddish or orange-red color found in carrots and pumpkins. Okay, there are different types of additive with different E number. Usually, colorings are usually begin with number 1. Preservative begin with number 2, and flavorings are usually not numbered. It is just labeled with what kind of flavor it is. And antioxidant is always start with 300 or until 321. So if you have emulsifier and stabilizer, uh, it will be E322 and some numbers between E400 and E495. So acid, bases, and buffer are usually begin with number 5, and most sweeteners are usually begin with number 4 or 6. Okay, if we look at this label or ingredient label of super oyster flavored sauce, you can see that the ingredient contains water, mushroom extractives, sugar, salt, hydrolyzed soy protein, modified cornstarch, soybean, wheat flour, and color. So this show because it is E1, so E1 is actually a flavor, a color. So 50 here means caramel color, which is brown. Okay. So what is caramel? You have learned this in learning unit 4, which is the browning. So how does the caramel is formed? You can always go back to Learning Unit 4 and do some revision on this. Okay, if we look at this one here, E1450 means E number, and the additive used in this product has been tested on animals and proved to be safe for consumption, and a caramel is actually a coloring agent which is brown color. So are food additives safe? There are some arguments where food additive might cause some effects to human after consumption. So the first one is allergy, and some additive can cause rashes or stomach upset in a few people, and some people when exposed to sulfur dioxide, it will give them breathing difficulties. And they are also food additive can also cause overactivity, means hyperactivity. For example, like some colorings make some children too active. E102 tartrazine found in sweet. Okay, sometimes when we have candy that has this candy that have artificial coloring like this, so if we do not want it to affect some kid, we can substitute it with a natural coloring like curcumin, conical from the insect, as long as it is not a synthetic coloring. Okay, exposure to food additive can also cause long-term illness. For example, like sodium nitrite may cause cancer, and it can also slow down the growth of children if eaten for a long time. And sulfur dioxide and its salt, when ingested, can attack the respiratory system. So individuals who suffer from chronic respiratory diseases are easier to be attacked. And then another effect is how much MSG is safe. So MSG may have side effects which include thirst, headaches, chest pain, and vomiting. And the acceptable amount a day is 120 mg for each kg of body weight. It is quite a huge amount. So if it would be better if we can reduce it. And if you want to add umami flavor to your food, um, one of the natural food that can give you umami flavor is tomato. So you can try add some tomatoes to your food, and it will also give you a kind of umami taste to your food. Even though you are vegetarian, you want to try to feel the umami taste, you can add some tomatoes to your food. Okay, that's it for this Learning Unit 5, Part 1. So next week, I will continue on the Learning Unit 5, Part 2, which is on the vitamins.